What's up everybody, Belligerent here with another Bloodline video, another one of our clan series. In the clan series, if you haven't watched any of the other ones yet, if you have, you already know, but in the clan series, we take a look at the different clans in the game. We help determine which is better, the male or the female. Now you can use whoever you want. I just offer you my opinion so you can help make yours. We go through the kit, the skills, the passive, the active, and the ultimate skills. We don't look at traits. Traits vary too much based on how you build your champion or what traits you get the champion with. So we're not looking at that. We're looking at the kit. We're looking at the abilities as explained by the developers. Okay. At the time of this recording, stuff is still like the game is fairly new. They're still working through some bugs. Some of the abilities are not performing as intended. Some of them don't even do anything near what it says in the description. So some of them we may have to revisit, but for right now, we're taking them as given. Okay? Keep in mind, these are max champions that we're looking at in the codex. 15-star, level 600 mythics. Your stats are going to vary. So you might look at some of the stats and what you see here in this video and go, oh, that looks really good. But when you get to yours, the percentage of damage or whatever it is that it does, not that great. So keep that in mind when you're like, well, why doesn't this work? That could be it. All right. So also, last thing, no fence sitting. When we do the clan series, we are going to give you an answer, male or female. Again, just my opinion. You make yours. If I helped you do that, we succeeded. I'm not trying to make everybody think like me. We're just going to go through this and look. All right. So today we are taking a look at the Huntsdorf Clan. These are dwarf marksmen. So let's look at the male. His passive, summon pet. When the battle starts, summons a badger to aid the caster in combat. While the badger is alive, the caster's attack is increased by a percentage. Okay, now sounds okay in theory. I think I can't know this for sure right now, but I think this clan will be very strong in the very late game, so to speak. When you get them early, the badger just runs out there and basically dies the second it touches anything. If you have a mythic one and you can get him up to 6 or 7 stars and really buff his passive, right, level his passive skill, it lives for 2 to 5 seconds. Okay. So I think if you can get these characters, once you get them to late game levels where you can start to see the badger live, it's going to be very strong. As it is, since almost everybody is still early game, it's kind of weak. Like the badger just runs out there and dies when I have used it. If you know how to keep the badger alive, please drop me a comment and let me know, because my badger, whenever I've used these guys, just runs out there and dies instantly, even on my account that has a 7-star mythic fully maxed passive. So I don't know. All right. Active ability, Flame of Rage. The caster and pet enter rage for 5 seconds. Attack speed is increased by 8%, and the pet's attacks have a 30% chance to inflict stun for 1 second. Again, in theory, great. In practice, the pet is dead long before the ability goes off. But if you can keep the pet alive, that's big, especially the stun. I'm going to assume that he also still gets his, attack speed? Yeah, I'm going to assume he also gets his attack speed buff when he triggers the ability, even if the pet is dead. I could be wrong, but just think of his active as an attack speed buff. All right, his ultimate, Precision Strike, aims at the enemies in the back row and fires an armor-penetrating projectile, dealing damage equal to 1% of his strength. Also orders his pet to attack the target with 3 consecutive hits. Again, the last part is useless because the pet's dead by now. So take that part out. Again, last time I'm going to say it again. Late game, if you have a uber leveled one, then the pet's probably going to live a lot better. But in general, the pet just dies right away from what I've seen. Aim. So here's at least, I don't know if this is a bug or not, but it says aims at the enemies in the back row. So he's aiming at the enemies in the back row, but if anybody's between them and you, it blows up on the front line every single time. So when I first got him, I'm like, yeah, I can attack the back row from my back row now. That's phenomenal. And then he shoots his ability, and it just blows up on the front line anyway, making it kind of useless, or pointless to say that it aims at the back row. But in the case where you have one of their tanks dead or something, or he's in a position where nobody's in front of him and it can actually hit the back row, that's great. But fingers crossed, maybe it's a bug, they got to work through it, okay? So that in general, if you were able to attack the back row with your marksman from your back row before everybody is dead, that would be great. In practice, from what I've seen, not that great. All right, let's take a look at hers. Summon pet is the same exact passive as his, so it's exactly as useful or lack thereof. Her active taunt orders the pet to taunt nearby enemies, drawing their aggression for 5.1 seconds. I've already said all I'm going to say about the pet. That's why, in my opinion, this clan is really, really bad, but they might be really, really good in the late games. So if you pull a mythic or something, kind of set it off to the side. Don't go melting it through Ascension or something like that. Set it off to the side, because eventually when you hit late game and you can level them, ascend them up to, I don't know what it's going to take, a 10-star, an 11-star, a 15-star, I don't know. But when you can level them and actually get that badger to stay alive, useful. As it is now, not useful. Blast attack. For the next 5 attacks, she uses a grenade to attack enemies, dealing damage. Even at level 600, 15-star mythic, it's less than 100% damage. So keep that in mind. Check your stats on, because I'm sure the 4-star common stat is going to be miserable. Okay, but dealing damage equal to a percentage of the caster's strength to target and nearby enemies. So it's an AoE attack. 5 attacks, AoE attack. The catch is it's less than 100%. And also orders the pet to attack the targets with 3 consecutive hits. Again, is useless because the pet is dead. Alright, so which one am I picking if I got to pick one? The male or the female? Again, no fetch sitting. I think this clan is miserable as is. Again, when I have the chance, if I ever have the chance to test it late game, I think they're going to be good, but we'll see. So whatever. I'm going with the female. I like the AoE damage on her ultimate, even though it's less than full damage. I like the AoE damage. If his is a bug and they fix it to where his attack actually hits the back line, I would pick him. But as it stands, I'll take the AoE damage because it gives me something if I'm using them. Now, that said, keep this in mind. These are marksmen. Build them with strength. They're going to DPS for you. Okay? I have the mythic male on one of my accounts. He is still top damage or top 2 damage in my comps. He just does nothing else other than hit a single target and kill it. So all of the skills, all of the quirks from the skills are irrelevant because they're all based on the pet. They're marksmen, so if you get one and it's the best one you got, drop them in your back line, you'll have a DPS. But as far as the kit goes, both of these kits are very, very weak. So that's what I'm going with. So I'm going with the female of the 2, unless his ultimate happens to be a bug, which they fix later on down the line. Like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend. I'm Belligerent. Peace.